Hey folks, Joseph Rampoli here for AWE TV, and I'm here with Christine Perey. And Christine has been extremely busy at AWE. She did a workshop yesterday. And Christine, tell us about your workshop yesterday and tell us about what you're doing tomorrow.
Okay. So yesterday we had a half-day workshop on open and interoperable augmented reality. It's part of a series of meetings and discussions that people have been having over the last 4 or 5 years about how to reduce technology silos and barriers to the introduction of AR into IT systems. So having open systems involves in part standards, the use of standards, so that we can have people at the same level playing field. They can innovate on top of standards. And what we discovered over the last few years is that there are many, many, many different sources of standards. There's also a lot of open source projects that people can build upon. So those were some of the topics that we covered. We had representatives from the Kronos Group, the IEEE Standards Association, and the Open Geospatial Consortium come to speak. We also had a session about a new reference model on the basis of workplaces. The workplace as an environment where augmented reality is introduced, and how to model that in a consistent way so people can abstract from it.
Now, as you're talking, the wheels are turning in my head, and I'm thinking as we all know that technology is changing just at an incredible pace. Does that make it more difficult to kind of bring all of these stakeholders together and kind of talk about, these standards or these protocols that are
Mm-hmm.
rolling out? Like that must make it even harder, I would think.
So I'd say in some ways people are more distracted and they're very concerned about making money with augmented reality. So this makes open and interoperable systems more attractive to them. They're distracted because they have a business requirement they need to meet, but what they'd like to do is to get away from relying on just one set of tools. They'd like to be able to mix and match the tools they have so they can get to the business more quickly. So actually, yesterday we had over 50 people in the room. It was a very good turnout for this topic. It doesn't always, it can be a bit dry for people, but I think people are becoming aware of the fact that there are real benefits to openness, to interoperability, and to modular IT architectures. We also had people talking about interoperability that was developed this year between the geospatial augmented reality browsers.
Hmm.
That was something we worked on for about 10 months and was shown last year at Mobile World Congress this year. And then today, the mobile AR browser companies, so Metaio, Layer, and Wikitude, have announced that their systems are interoperable. That was a part of a session, so we had discussions about where that might go in the future and what does it mean to the users.
And that's really important too, because if they're all on the same page, that really kind of helps the whole landscape. Now let's talk about tomorrow because you're kind of putting together this guru panel, if I'm correct, on augmented reality kind of industry or augmented world and industry. So tell us a little bit about that panel.
Yeah. So it's about complex manufacturing systems so a lot of products are manufactured requiring a lot of accuracy, or they are very big products, and the people who build those products don't do the steps very frequently, or they have to do it with a level of precision that is, very, very high. So augmented reality can help people use technical documentation in context, and that's the topic of that panel. So we're going to have people in shipbuilding, that's Newport News Shipbuilding. Boeing is going to be speaking about its uses of AR for the building of satellites in aerospace. We also have this group called Tell Me. It's a European Union consortium that has been working on teaching by doing, and they are going to talk about the use of augmented reality in textiles, furniture, and helicopter building and maintenance. So very diverse industries in which there are lots of small and medium companies that need to work in complex materials and machines, but they don't have the money to maintain a workforce and very training is a high cost activity, so they can use augmented reality to train and teach just in time by doing an action. So those are some of the topics that we'll be talking about during that session tomorrow.
Awesome. And it just seems to me, especially this conference in its fifth year, that things are moving so quickly, and the light bulb is going on for so many different industries, and to kind of bring them together now. And you've been working on this stuff for a long time. It really is, I think, a pivotal point where now we're starting to see, we're getting beyond that gimmick phase, and now we're really into some really important, solving problems that AR and an augmented world can do.
Yeah, that's really a great point, Joe. I think the right now awareness about AR is growing in companies, in enterprise, whether it's for designing products, building them, like I spoke of in the manufacturing case, selling them, or maintaining, doing service after the sale. All of those different phases of the product life cycle can benefit from the use of augmented reality. People are just starting to talk about that and deploy it in pilots and prototypes to evaluate what the return on investment is going to be. So there's still a long way to go before it's a full-scale rollout, but I think I'm very excited, and this is what I've been working on a lot lately, is talking with people in enterprise, small, medium, and large enterprises about the use of augmented reality. They are all over the map. Some people really understand it right away, and there are people who have never heard of augmented reality. In fact, there are many, many more people in enterprise that have never come into contact with it, and they think it's science fiction. They're very much, if they've seen it, they are concerned about it being lightweight and gimmicky.
Right.
So there is still a lot of education left to do. We have a long way to go before we can say, say that we've achieved our goals.
Absolutely. Now, what's the best way for people to kind of get in touch with you on what you're doing?
So I have a website, just my last name, Perey.com. I'm on Twitter. I have a blog. I'm very easy to find, actually, on the web, and I'm very open to sharing with people. I'm always interested in learning more about what others are doing.
Great. Well, you are a champion of the augmented world, and keep up the good work, and we appreciate it. So
Thank you.
best of luck to you.
Thanks.
Okay.